Welcome to the Fall Turf Festival at Gulfstream Park West. It is a beautiful day here in South Florida. We got a fast main track fern turf course. We got Pete Aiello, our track announcer, joining us today on our daily seminar, like he does each and every day, except maybe Saturday when we have the lovely Katie with us, 11:36 a.m. We got carryovers galore today, both in the Pick 5, Pete, and the Rainbow Six.
I'm going to say we got great weather. We also have Pick 5 carryover and a Pick 6 carryover, both of which are going to be huge offerings here this afternoon with a very competitive card. You can see it there. The guarantee and the jackpot of the Rainbow Six is $100,000. That's absolutely a formality, as the carryover is just a couple thousand less than that. So now we're looking at about a 1 1/4 in the Rainbow Six. The Pick 5 is the storyline for me, though. 50-cent minimum wager and a carryover of $15,482. The sequence here this afternoon, was talking to a couple of folks yesterday. They think there's a possibility for a double carryover in the Pick 5. That's how difficult the sequence is here today.
Well, that would make a huge carryover going into Saturday. And this is our first day of the 4-day weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're running Monday this week, and we got the mandatory payout on Monday in the Perfect 10. So we got lots of great racing for the whole weekend planned. And our stake race now, Sunday, it is the Kenny No Jr. 6 furlongs, 3-year-olds and up, $90,000. That will be on Sunday.
It'll be a great weekend of racing with betting opportunity each and every day. Very, very good betting opportunities here this afternoon. We'll take a look just in a moment.
Well, let's go to the first race today. Oh, by the way, I owe Pete more pancakes because of the bachata dance bet yesterday. So I'm going to have to...
I hope all of our fans on YouTube and watching via the Simulcast Network are keeping score at home. And if you are, you can invoice Ron Nicoletti at ron.nicoletti@gulfstreampark.com for all of my pancakes. And you can also help to set up a meet and greet with us at Denny's or wherever we choose to get the pancakes, so you can see that he does own up to his debts, because at this point, his credit line is very, very slim.
First race, 6 furlongs, claim is 3 and up. Non-winners of 3 in life, $12,500. I went with the number 3 horse in here, Pete, Crown Distinction. Will face these 3 lifetime competition at this 12-5 level after getting up in time to defeat $25,000 2 lifetime claimers going 7 furlongs. Antonio Sani, Manuel Cruz in the saddle. Is this a jump up? Is this a jump down? Is this the next progression?
I think this is a good spot for him, to be honest with you. He beat a pretty good horse last time in Wildcat Pleasures, who was a George Navarro second time from New Jersey invader, who was heavily favored that afternoon, was very aggressively ridden. They went the half and 45 and change, and Wildcat Pleasures cut the fractions. Crown Distinction saved ground inside, tipped into the 2-path in the stretch run, and ran down Wildcat Pleasures. It was a very, very good run from a horse who I'm not really been a big fan of in his career. He impressed me last time. He continues to progress for Sano, and I do agree that he does have a chance right back.
You went with number 5, Old Army. We're also having a ticket going back to the dirt today.
Yeah, this horse, he should be well situated here. There is some speed in here. Crown Distinction and my pick, Old Army, they'll be laying from well off the speed and both making runs. I think that Old Army has a better propensity to kick on than Crown Distinction does. Crown Distinction has 7 places from 16 outings, just the 2 lifetime victories, but then again, race record with Old Army is just about the same. I just think the stretch kick for Old Army is a little bit better than Crown Distinctions. I hope I'm right about that. Jockey Paco Lopez takes over here this afternoon, replacing apprentice riders in each of his last 6 races. Paco, the seasoned veteran rider here this afternoon. Perfect spot for this horse, and I think the 3 and 5 both are well situated pace-wise. And I can't wait for you to tell me why you like running alone so I can drill you into the ground.
Well, this one is dropping into this 3 lifetime condition claimer. First start since facing tougher on both the turf and the slop before the 2-month layoff. Dropping competition, excellent barn, 25% with the 31 to 60 day layoff. Edgar Zayas in the saddle, all the things you like to see. This barn does an excellent job of spotting horses where they have a good chance to win. I just thought this was the logical horse on the drop.
I don't know if I want to go here or not. Running alone. Okay, here's what I'll say. I'll try to be as politically correct as I can. He has speed. He needs the lead in a race where there's plenty of other speed and other horses with similar tendencies. His last race on the main track, he lost by 12 lengths. Race before that on the main track, he lost by 25 lengths. Race before that on the main track, he lost by 19 lengths. You get the gist. This horse is a much better horse on the turf course. He's been laid up since September. I think this is a prep or a situation where Delgado needed to get him in, and this was the best spot he could get him in. It's not a bad spot if he had any proven dirt form, which he does not have, and because you mentioned leading trainer, leading jockey, he'll lure all kinds of action, or at least more action than he should.
Right.
He's a great horse to try to beat.
Well, that's how what makes it great in horse racing. Yeah, how we disagree. I did go with the number 3 on top of my ticket. Anybody else you want to talk about?
I think Donegal Hall makes sense in here because I think he's going to lay right off the early speed. Kyler Gaffalione takes over for Fontanez. This horse has been running very, very well since switching to this meeting. He likes this surface, and he's starting to come around, as are all of our top plays. Crown Distinction, Donegal Hall, and Old Army. They all were horses that you wondered would ever win a second race. Not only have they all won a second race, they're sharp right now, all 3 of them.
Well, let's go to our second race. It's our first turf race of the afternoon, and this is a 7.5 furlongs maiden claimants, fillies and mares, 3 and L's and up with $12,500. Scratch the number 11. Royal Space has got a video we want to show you from November 1st, and it's just sweet payola turning for home. 8 lengths off the pace and really closing nicely to get beat. Only 1 1/4 lengths in that race.
Unfortunately for me and a variety of other individuals, she didn't track down Blinding Ruby, who's the horse on the 3 wide side hitting the front for Shannon Yuski. Blinding Ruby was an 0 for at least 10 maiden, and there's Sweet Paula down the center, flying on, was just given too much to do. She was certainly finishing the best. Could not track down Blinding Ruby, but did finish with interest against a field that is very much the same as the field she faces here this afternoon. I want you to see this. Do you see the picks here? Can we do the 5, 9, and 6, 8, 2, and 4?
Right.
That means that between the 2 of us, we have 0 common picks in this race. And you know what?
Right.
I'm very happy about that because
Okay.
that speaks to this kind of race. It doesn't speak to either one of ours handicapping aptitude. It just speaks to the fact that I talk about it all the time. Maidens claiming on the grass, they're all about the same. I'm going to pick horses that are going to be big prices in here, and that's exactly what I did. Secretariat Indy on top, 0 for 31. I don't know that I've picked a horse at 0 for 31 in a long time. Charlie Fontana tabs Jover Chamafi here to ride today. Takes over for apprentice Eric Rodriguez. This filly, she's been running 5/8 on the grass. I think that her running style and her best race says that she wants to go longer. I like the fact that she's coming out of different divisions than some of these horses. She is coming out of the short division. There is a difference. And I think that she's going to be just a big price here. And there's nothing to differentiate these horses. That's the thing. And Beeline Express second. Jockey Jose Caraballo sees fit to take the call. She has some races back at Gulfstream Park in the summertime that make her a player. I mean, everybody's beating each other here. And, if that's the case, I'm going to use the long shots.
Okay, well, I'm going to use also number 2, Enzi Dad. This one is eligible to show more after making a 3-wide bid and flattening out that race. Finished 6th. I think there's upside here. Finished 6th behind Sweet Payola in there, and Edgar Prado back in the saddle for Manny Espora.
Can't argue with anything. You're not going to hear me say anything bad about anybody in this race or anybody who wants to play this race different than I do, because this race is so competitive that everybody makes sense in some regard.
Yeah, and that's we've had most of our long shots come in races like this,
Yes,
where horses are even and they pay $80, $90.
Exactly.
And
Even yesterday we talked about it on the program about horses exiting different divisions of the race.
Right.
The winner of the race yesterday, Maiden Claimers on the Grass, paid $26, had only beat 1 horse in her 2 races, but was not coming out of this division. Unfortunately, we have everybody in this race that's been racing in this division, so I can't use that angle.
Well, let's go to the third race then. 1 mile and 70 yards starter, optional claimer, 3-year-olds and up. The claiming price is $10,000 in here, and we have a scratch of the number 4 horse. That is Wild Conceits, and we both have the number 6 JB's Unk on top of our ticket. This one, a winner of 13 of 31 races, is back in South Florida today after a successful summer campaign up north where he won 2 of 4 races. Both those races he won was at Parks. Jorge Navarro spots this gelding perfectly in the starter optional claim.
Here's your useless information story from me about JB Zunk. This horse actually made his first career race in Cincinnati at River Downs when I was the announcer there. There's a story that goes along with this. The conditioner of the horse that afternoon put him in for maiden 5,000 and rode the jockey room rider to try to make sure that nobody would pay any attention to the horse because he wanted to raise the horse at Churchill the next time and take on big money coming out of a maiden claimer at River Downs. Somebody was wise to it. They claimed him for $5,000 and the rest is history. He's made over $190,000 and now has buyers in the 90s. he looks very much the best horse in here.
Yeah, I see that you have the number 3, Chillin' Dillon, on your ticket. Didn't know quite what to do with Chillin' Dillon. Had it up there, but I went to, the 7 Convolution, but I can understand 3 Chillin' Dillon.
Well, here was my logic. Tammy Levy is not one of those trainers that just does things for the sake of doing them. And she doesn't wheel horses back hardly ever. And when she does, there's a pretty good amount of success that goes along with it. This horse just ran 5 days ago and got nothing out of that race. That's at least my opinion. Ran so bad, the horse came back that couldn't even blow out a match. And then she said, well, let's might as well go back in. It was a slop. We'll just draw a line through it and see if we can get him back in against a competitive field. That's exactly what they did. So I used the horse for that logic.
Well, number 7 Convolution is turning back just a little bit after rallying 5 wide. I thought it was a pretty nice race. Finished 3rd again. Similar competition. That was going that mile in the 16th distance. Just thought this horse could be somewhere on the ticket. I see that you used the number 7 Convolution. I also used the number 5 horse in here, Contestable, and this one is stepping up. Drew away against 6,253 lifetime claimers. Won that race by 4 widening lengths. Is this the speed?
I don't know if it's the speed. I know it's a huge step up in class for Condestable today. Rider switch is not as inspiring as some of the other rider switches here today. Listen, I think that you'll agree with this. JB Zunk is 7-5 on the morning line.
Right.
You try not to embarrass anybody on the morning line. This horse is going to be 2, 3-5 range when we go to post.
Right.
If you beat JB Zunk, you're in for a large start in your early pick 4. If you don't think he's beatable, listen, don't try to beat him. Single him and move on. There are some spread races coming up.
Well, let's go to our 4th race. It's 5 furlongs on the turf. Maiden claim is 3 and up. $12,500. We got a couple of jockey changes and scratches in here. Jockey on the 3 is Luca Panici. On the 4, it's Jose Osorio Jr. scratched the 5. Ocean Lane Plaza scratched the 7. Lemon Up. And the 12, Mr. Kitten. We got to show you a race from back on October 31st, Halloween. And it's Antares at the start, Pete.
Yeah, I want you to see, this was originally, there's Antares in the blue blinkers. He's sent out of there. Now watch this. Here comes Ralph Nixon, or Wesley Ward, first-time starter, to his inside, and a horse on the outside that was cutting back in distance. Antares is sandwiched between them, and that's not the way he wants to do things. He was out-sprinted. He wasn't good enough to make the lead. His best running style would be somewhere where Styla, or rather George Jett, is 4th behind the speed. He was compromised that afternoon and really took him out of his A game.
Yeah, I went with the number 10 in here, and so did you, and that's a Secret Ops. This one moved to the Jorge Navarro bond via the claim after setting the pace, jumping the tracks. It said on the trouble line there, finishing 2nd. It was against $16,000 maidens at the Meadowlands back on September 19. This 3-year-old son of Wildcat likes this distance. 4 starts, 2 seconds in the 3rd. The barn is 39% with new claims. Lots of things to like. Looks like a logical contender.
Sure does, because you scratch number 7, Lemon Up, who was not only going to be part of the pace scenario, was also going to be the strong second choice or even favored in that race. I'm intrigued by something. I don't know that I've ever seen a horse jump tracks on the grass.
Yeah,
what tracks is there to jump?
Where they put the boards maybe for the gate. Is the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. This horse is easily one of the fastest, if not the fastest, in here. I want to settle the score here.
Right, okay.
You owe me pancakes about 6 times.
Yeah, 3 times.
Well, we're gonna make it 6 right now, because you have the 3 Defiant Grace second. I have the 11 Dreaming of Pete second. If you're willing, sir, I'd like to go double or nothing on the 3 and the 11 in this race, because there's absolutely no way that the 11 can lose to the 3.
Well, the 3 Defiant Grace is a filly against the boys. Is hoping to save something more for the stretch run today after opening up that early 2.5 length lead. Weak to finish 5th. What I like about this is Luca Panici gets the call today, and I just think this horse is going to sit back and run pretty good now. Defiant Grace, every once in a while they got to step out and try and figure out what the race shape's going to be. And maybe Defiant Grace can't not beat the 10 Secret Ops, but certainly could be on the ticket. And you only picked the 11 because Dreaming of Pete, and your name is... What is it, Pete? Right. So,
well, actually, that's not true. Let me tell you why I picked Dreaming of Pete. Dreaming of Pete gets on the grass for the first time, does take a drop in class, and has a very, very quick first gear. I love the post draw here, because the key rival, both in the race and in the pace flow, is the horse just to the next door. So Secret Ops probably can out-sprint Dreaming of Pete. If I'm Paco, I wait to see what Nunez does with Secret Ops, and if he's not intent on hustling that horse out of there, I take it right to him. Right. If he is intent in whipping and slashing and chirping out of there, right, I take a whole Dreaming of Pete, lap on in the 2 path, and just go on with it, because on the form, the 10 does come back to the field a little bit.
Okay, and the 3 will be there to pick up the pieces. So we'll see.
Double or nothing?
Okay.
Okay, you heard it. We have it on YouTube, fans. You heard it, double or nothing. I'm getting ready to get 6. That's right, six pancake dinners.
Are we done in this race here?
Yes, we are.
Okay, let's go to the 5th race today, and this kicks off the Rainbow Six. And as we mentioned, as going in today, there's $95,000 in the pool, so it's going to be way over $100,000. We're actually guaranteeing that other $5,000. That's just the semantics. Because this horse is going to, the pool is going to be probably, like you said, 115, 120 or something like that.
I figure 125. Actually.
125. Well, this 5th race is 7 furlongs. These are maiden 2-year-olds. Claiming price $35,000. Blinkers on, number 4, just for fun. And Pete and I are in agreement here on the top pick, and that's the number 2, Sumdivo. Dropping to the $35,000 level, stretching out to 7 furlongs, tracking pretty glib fractions last time out, finishing 3rd. That was a $50,000 claimer going to 6 furlongs. Terry Pompey is the trainer. Leandro Conslaves in the saddle. Lots of things to like about this horse. I don't know if it's a single in the Rainbow Six, but certainly got to be on your ticket.
Well, I can tell you this. If you don't single Sumdivo, you go no more than 2 deep,
right,
because this sequence is impossible from a standpoint of trying to come up with an affordable ticket. I think this horse is one of the potential singles in the sequence, just based on his last race. As you touched on, they were moving early, and he was chasing that pace. It was his debut run for Terry Pompey Brown in a lot of sharp workouts. We expected this horse, I did anyway, to take a little bit more money than he did at 7-2 that afternoon. He'll take some money here today, and he also finds himself in a position to be on or near the lead. It's intriguing they add blinkers with the 4-horse here. It kind of tempers my enthusiasm a little bit, because Zayas and Delgado are always a potent combination, and if they think they can get more speed out of just for fun, Sumdivo may have to work for the front. But if they don't and they let Sumdivo alone, they're going to run for second money.
Well, I went with the old turf to dirt angle with the number 1 Wildcat runner, turning back to 7/8 on the main track. Rallied 5 wide to finish second. That was against $25,000 types a mile on the grass. Bill Kaplan about 18% with the surface switch. And I just thought this horse, you're talking about the speed, going back to the main track. I liked its performance last time out. Maybe can translate that to 7 furlongs on the main track. I just thought it was a horse that I throw in somewhere on my ticket.
Well, somewhere on the ticket's not really too much of an argument for me. I just we touched on it yesterday. You know, everybody teases me for my 109 rules of handicapping. And one of the steadfast rules is if a horse gets beat for less than he's in for in a maiden race, I don't bet on him. And that's the case is with Wildcat Runner. He got beat for 16 and he got beat for 25. How can I bet on him to win for 35 in a maiden race? Now, winner's a different story, but in maidens, I mean, there is definitely a strong class distinction between maiden 16 and maiden 35.
Well, what about the number 8, Lavandero?
Lavendero's never seen $35,000 maidens. He comes out of a race where Grand Junior was an impressive first-out winner. They thought enough of Grand Junior to bring him back in a stake the next time out. His race 2 back was a 3rd-place run behind Your Dreams Are Mine, who finished 2nd. That was for $50,000. He's going to need to show a little more speed, but I like the draw outside here. I thought he was best of the rest.
Well, this 6th race that we're going to, 1 mile and 1/16 on the turf. Claim is 3 and up. Non-winners are 2, $6,250. This was one hard race to handle.
Spread City here.
Yeah. I came up with the one Tony Tyler. I'm going with a speed play. You came up with the number 3 horse in here, City Mud, and I wouldn't be surprised if any one of them won.
I think this, for me, this was kind of like a winner's version of the 2nd race where everybody looks the same. So if everybody looks the same, try to figure out who people are going to play and try to beat them. I think Tony Tile is a horse that people are going to play because he's ran 2nd in his last 2 races. Fiddler's Chico has hit the board in 3 of his last 4. They're going to play him. But the 2 of them are a combined 2 for 55 on the win end. But then they face horses like Wisemaker, who we both used on the play, that's 1 for 39. I mean, it's just that kind of race. City Mun was a horse that you really liked last time out, and you actually sold me on him. You can see how that worked out for him. He finished 6th, beating 15 lengths. But he moves back to the turf course here this afternoon. And again, this race all looks the same. He's going to be a good price. He has a win over this course. That win was during this meet. I mean, you have to reach here. I mean, there's going to be price horses involved in this race. I'm going to try to beat the favorites in each and every time.
Well, number 7, Fiddler's Chico, as you mentioned, he's trying to notch that elusive 2 lifetime win, but he's hit the board in 11 of his races this year versus a notch tougher. Maybe this is the day he gets that 2nd win. Wisemaker, as you touched on, does his best running in the latter stage of the race. He can sit the trip behind Tony the Tile, Too Cool for You, and all that speed up there, and maybe get the job done in there. He's ridden today by Luca Panici, too. So the number 6 jockey changed to Wisemaker to Luca Panichi. But I am in total agreement with Pete, and that doesn't happen very often. I think you got a spread in the 6th race today.
Trip goes to the 9 touchdown Tom because you touched on it. I agree with you. Tony Tile and Too Cool for You will be prominently paced. Lucy Herkova and touchdown Tom likely tracking them from 3rd and get first run.
Yeah, Lucy Herkova getting the mount back today. Prado rode it last time. Going back to Lucy, she seems to handle this horse pretty well.
Yes.
Okay? Yes.
What else do you want me to say? I can tell you what we can say. Now we'll move to the 7th race on the program,
That's
the
good.
start of the 50-cent late pick 4. Maiden's in for 16. I wish Wildcat Runner was in here. I'd love him. This race is a tough race, and I went with the fresh face and the stale bunch angle.
Yeah, I went with the 5 Purpose, logical choice to score after finishing second to a repeat winner that was called It's Not Me. This level and distance, Marcus Vitale, Orlando Boca Chica having a lot of success at this meeting. Just thought it was the light or logical horse, and you do have your horse on there, the first-time starter, Presido Kuga.
Well, Purpose reminds me a lot of Fireman's Carry. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I guess
We both said yesterday Fireman's Carry was the logical horse with logical form.
And
she won off 4 to 5, and she folded like a cheap suit.
Right.
So I took a stand against Purpose in that regard. Presido Cougar debuts for Aubrey Mirage and White Rabbit Racing. They tabbed Shamir Mirage riding here today. I would venture that speed will be their weapon of choice. It would be if I was in this situation. I've always been a big fan of Westacre horses first time out. Don't know what the percentages are, but I don't really care, to be honest, because over the years it's worked for me, so I'm going to continue to go back for it. Westacre, son of a Forest Camp mare. Speed should be in the pedigree here. Presido Cougar with the 2-post might be prominently placed, and that's good enough for me.
I went with the 8C War on my ticket, stepping up to the 16 level after setting the pace weak. Need to finish 3rd against 12-5 types at the distance. Dampede, Edgar Zayas, rationing his speed today. So I think that's going to help with the number 8C Warrior. But I could go with your number 2 Presido Cougar. It's a bit of a guess. White Rabbit does a good thing. That's the owners of the 2 Presido Cougar. I just think Purpose is the one to beat in there. And if you're looking for a horse or 2 horses or a horse that you might want to single in that sequence, that might be it.
I'm not going to argue with Purpose, but I got to come up with some side wager for C Warrior. Comes out of a race where Atarante won it at odds on. Atarante had lost in a race that came home in 29 and change. C Warrior makes a clear lead going 3/4 here at Gulfstream West in 47-4. Not only does he not win, he doesn't hold second after blowing a clear lead. This is a significant class rise for this horse. This is interesting. This is exactly why I love handicapping horse races. He's in for 12-5.
Right.
Now he's in for 16. If you don't know any better, you go, oh, it's not really that big a step up in class, and he ran well last time. I'm here to tell you this is a major step up in class for this horse, and this race is not even that tough.
Anything else in here that you want to disagree with?
Yeah, Rememorar is dropping in class. Has been in for 35 in special weight and then 2 times out. I actually forget the name of the horse, but somebody can tweet me or Facebook me the name of the horse that Ignacio Roncasio and John Castillo teamed up to win with the other day. It was a filly, looked exactly like this. 3 races, just okay, showed a little bit of, Transuente, that was who it was. This horse reminds me of Transuente, takes a drop in class and may find himself in a better position early.
Can we go to the 8th race now?
Absolutely.
So we don't run out of time here?
Absolutely. 8th race, go on. You can
1
talk
mile
all
and
about
1/16th, allowance optional, claim at 3-year-olds and up, claiming price $25,000. Pete and I were talking about what videos we were going to show him. Pete's exact word here, we have to show and throw him because it's one of the best races he's seen at the Gulfstream Park West meet. So we're going to show the stretch run of number 6 and Throne.
Well, I think so. This is great. There was a lot of speed signed on in that last race. We both predicted that Duke and Enthrone would come running. Duke is to the inside of Enthrone. Enthrone's in the sheepskin noseband. Duke just to his inside. Look at this. They're going to hook Romans Avenue at the 8th pole, and now they're going to affirm Denali Dar replay down the stretch run. Duke on the inside, Enthrone on the outside. Enthrone does not go down without a fight. In fact, right here it looks like he's going to get up, and then Duke turns him away. Duke, a battle-tested horse from the Mohammed Jaludi barn, multiple stakes winner. Enthrone ran his heart out that day after running just as well 2 back, but he didn't deserve to lose that last race. He'll get vengeance here today.
Yeah, I like that horse a lot today because of that performance we just showed. The other horse I used on my... let's get to your top horse in here.
We don't have to. We want to talk about the better races. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I went with 3 Steel and Pack Cummings out of that Enthrone race. He stalked between horses in that race. He finished 5th, but he was only beaten a length and a half. Ralph Nix, Edgar Prado. Guess what? They're winning races at 2000 and 2014. Not a big sampling, but at a 40% rate. So that's a good combination right there.
Well, 25 starters. That's a good enough percentage for me to get a pattern involved. Don't argue with Steel Impact. This was a spread race for me, too. I used the 9 on top, Rompin' Reed. I went to the wedding. I'm going to the funeral. I needed this horse to get up in the worst way last time at 11-1. He ran a career best race. He's always a horse that you can rely on to run a buyer in the mid-70s. He stepped his game up to an 86. As long as he doesn't bounce and he runs his mid-70s and a low 80 buyer, he fits here, as does number 2, Romans Avenue, who was third behind Rompin' Reed last time out and was third on that backtrack we showed you of Duke and Enthroned.
Right.
Lonnie Arterburn and Brittany Arterburn have done a great thing. They've taught this horse how to rate. He's become a much better horse for it, and I always liked when the horses show they have new dimensions. Romans Avenue on the improve. Let's move to the 9th race because you want to talk about that.
Well, 6 furlongs, allowance optional, claiming 3-year-olds and up, claiming price $16,000. And we want to show you want to show people the 3-horse in that race, Van Bankway, having some trouble. He bobbles at the start, drops the whip, I believe, or something.
He was favored last time out against Trier, who came back to be second. There you can see it. Maybe we can rewind that, maybe not, but that was the stumble bad of the start of Valbanki. He doesn't want to be off the lead. He wants to be on the lead. Valdivia found him last of all. I just would surmise that if I was riding, I would kind of be frustrated too and go, listen, why beat this horse up? He's out of his A game. He's last of all. We needed to be on or near the lead. Let's not be silly about it. And I think he'll fire big here today. This is his second start over this track. Should take note, Trier, second player, the winner of that last race, was second behind Bad Debt in the stake last Saturday.
I went with the number 1 in here, Nevsky, turning back to 6 furlongs after dueling for lead, surrendering that lead at the 16 pole, finished third, beating the length. It was at 7 furlongs, Marcus of Vitali, Orlando Boca Chica. I got the 3, Montana Cowboy. I thought that was a nice performance by Montana Cowboy.
Sure was. I don't know what it was against, but it was definitely a good run. A lot of speed signed on in here. I don't know what Nevsky's going to do. He's got a terrible post for the way this race flow sets up. You're going to have the 2, 3, and 4 that all are going to send. If Valbanki gets it way better, he'll go out there for the early lead. I think it sets up for Lover Bill. I used him on the pace off the speed play.
Yeah, and also we both have Bellamy Chief goes from Bill Mott to Ralph Nix today. So we'll see. It hasn't run since on the end of track at Aqueduct in December and January. Working consistently, gets Prado, has speed. We told you how good that jock trainer combo is. Our last race on the Friday card is 7.5 furlongs on the turf, 3 and up, claimers, non-winners of 2 in life, or 3-year-olds, 16,000, scratch 11, 12, and 13. And we want to go back and show you what happened to Ex-Pirate from the end of the backstretch to the top of the stretch.
Well, I don't know if this is a beware backtrack or a good backtrack. That's Ex-Pirate in the Averill black colors racing third. That's Skip's World, who moves early. It seems like Zayas is trying to these catch-him-off-guard turf moves, and Ex-Pirate has to go under Fontanez. He's 3 wide on the outside there. He makes a big run up toward the lead. You have to remember this is a stakes winner on the grass. Now he just took over the lead, and now watch what happens. The wheels kind of fall off. He makes the lead. He makes this big run. He's 5-2 to do it, too, and then he has nothing more to offer after that. We didn't even bother to show you. It gets ugly after that. Ends up finishing 6th behind Rackham Earl, who was a winner from Indiana for Mike Maker. I don't know what to do with him. He's dropping again. Just this spring, he's winning on Florida Cup Day at Tampa.
I put him on top of my ticket, but I'm not. I'm not totally sold that we're gonna have to box up. I also used the one Furious Shot, and I see you have Furious Shot on your ticket too. This is going to face winners after a perfectly timed ride produced that $20,000 maiden win, going a mile into 16th on the grass. Giuseppe Isodernia and Edgar Zayas. I liked that race last time out.
I did too, because I bet on him. He was 11-1 that afternoon. Horse I'm going to be betting on in this race is number 5, Locker Room Guy. David Casson and Carlos Marquez are a very underrated combination here. This horse comes out of racing at Arlington and Hawthorne. His race last time at Hawthorne was over a yielding course. Maybe give him a pass for that. He seemed to prefer the ground with a little bit more bounce in the step, so to speak, and he ran well 2 starts ago. He'll be a good price. He'll be forgot about. This is another race wide open. You want to have coverage here if you're alive in your pick 5.
Number 10, My Uncle Charlie, cutting back slightly. First start since the claim by Jorge Navarro out of a 12-5, 2 lifetime claimer going a mile. Barn is 39% with new claims. Jesus Rios will be in the saddle today.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. I think those 4 are definitely the 4 you want to use in the pick 4 and the pick 5 and the Rainbow 6. It's all a matter of how you structure it. You're going to have some opinions here today, but the price will be right all afternoon long.
Yeah, we got carryovers in the Rainbow 6 and the pick 5. So, and as Pete said, people telling him that there might be a carryover again in the pick 5. Tough sequence. That's what makes horse racing the best. Anything else before we sign off, Petey boy?
Good luck today.